We're going to be going over 6.5 today. So, for this first one, we're talking about the common logarithm. And that's a log base 10. So whatever you plug in your calculator, if you do like log of 32, let's say, when you plug that into your calculator, it's doing log base 10 of 32. Okay, it's the same thing, but your calculator doesn't show the 10. It's just, that's the common logarithm, and that's what's actually in there. It's log base 10, even though your calculator does not show it. Now, in order to solve something like we have right here, what I want to do is I'm going to, much like we did before with multiplication, division, subtraction, addition, when we're solving an equation, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Well, we can also take the log of both sides. So what I have is log of 5 raised to the x, and that's log base 10 of 5 raised to the x, equals log of 62. Well, I can move this x to the front. So what I have is x times the log of 5 equals log of 62. Then what I can do is I can divide by log of 5, because the log of 5, if I plug it into my calculator, it's just a number. And what I'm left with is x equals, I got to make sure that I plug it in my calculator correctly. Make sure you have parentheses around both the 62 and the 5. If you do not close the parentheses around that 62, you're going to run into some problems. And once we plug it into our calculator, we end up with 2.56. Rounded. So it's 2.564. The 6 stays a 6. Let's try a couple problems. Alright, so if you feel comfortable trying these 4 problems, why don't you try them right now? I'm just going to go through them right after I finish talking about how you should try them on your own first. Alright, so number 1, I'm going to take the log of both sides, and I'm left with log of 4 to the x equals log of 17. So I get that x, put that x in front, and now I have x times the log of 4 equals the log of 17. I'm going to divide by log of 4 on both sides, and I'm left with x equals 2.04. Alright, so in this next one here, I'm going to go a little bit quicker. What I want you to notice is that here we have 4 raised to the x. Now 4 is our base, and just so happens that 4 also ends up in the denominator. So it's the base, which is in the bottom, and that is in the denominator here. So you can remember that it's going to be log of 17 divided by log of 4. So if you want to have that little shortcut, you can do that. So we're going to have log of 49 divided by log of 2. Which ends up giving me 5.61. Alright, my next one. I'm going to have log of 0.04 over log of 25. And what I get is -1. So actually this one, we don't need the squiggly equals. It's exact. Some regular old equals. Alright, this last one is a little bit trickier. Now, what I have is I need to get this -2 to the x alone. So I'm going to subtract 67. And I'm left with -2 to the x equals -28. Well, I'm not going to take the log of both sides because I can't take the log of a negative number. That's not going to work. So I'm going to multiply both sides by -1, making both of these positive. So now I have positive 28 and positive 2 to the x. Now I can do my little trick here where I end up having log of 28 divided by log of 2, which gives me 4.807, which would be 4.81. So we rounded up that 0 because of the 7 right after it and got 4.81. All right, next one. All right, here we get into change of base. Now, I don't like how this is written here. For our purposes, I'm going to change that. And it's going to be log of b, or sorry, log base b of x equals log of x over log of b. Once again, what's nice is that the x is above the b, much like it is here when we put it into our fraction. So it's an easy way to remember. So let's try this. With this problem here, I'm going to have log of 56 divided by log of 7. When I plug that into my calculator, I get 2.068, so 2.07 would be my answer for this one. Alright, it's as easy as that. Let's try a few examples. Once again, make sure you try these on your own first, and then I'm going to go through them. So you pause the video, try them, see if you can get them. You might have a little trouble with numbers 2 and 3, but we'll see. So number 1 is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to have log of 87 divided by log of 6. We get 2.492, so it stays as 2.49. I don't have to round that 9 up. Next one. Well, I need to figure out this part right here. Okay? I know that the log base 5 of 21 is 1.89 rounded. When I plug in my calculator and I do the change of base, I go with log of 21 over log of 5. I end up with about 1.89. So all I have to do is 1 minus 1.89, which gives me negative 0.89. Make sure you're doing 1 minus 1.89, because a lot of people forget. They do the log of 21 divided by log of 5, and then they subtract 1. You're going to get positive 0.89. You should get negative 0.89. All right, lastly, we could actually do this one without a calculator. We should know what log base 3 of 27 is. Well, 3 to the 3rd power gives me 27, so that's 3 plus 9 gives me 12. And that is it for 6.5. Nothing too stressful, nothing too crazy, but remember, we do have a lot of different properties from this chapter. You need to keep them straight. All right, we have 6.5, and then this is what it looks like. This is what the worksheet looks like right here. We just did the odds on this in Mr. Allen's class today. All right, guys, have a good day and keep it real.